Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. In this video we're looking at the Lydian Dominant Pentatonic Scale, using 3 licks in ascending difficulty just to show you a few ways in which you can use the scale. So hopefully by the end of the video you should be able to play C Lydian Dominant Pentatonic in one position. You should have the 3 aforementioned licks, a good idea of what notes to lean on to make the scale really pop out, and some chords that you could play it over. This scale is derived from the Lydian Dominant, which is the 4th mode of the melodic minor, but here being a pentatonic it uses only 5 notes. I'm going for C Lydian Dominant Pentatonic, which has the notes of C, E, F sharp, G, B flat, C. Root, 3rd, sharp 4th, 5th, flat 7th, root. This is basically a dominant 7th arpeggio, root, 3, 5, flat 7, but with an added sharp 4th. There's also a C7 sharp 11 vamp in this video, if you want to try out the licks. Timestamps as usual down in the description and the pinned comment. A fairly unusual sound for rock music. You could argue that Nirvana's Big Long Now card up there is built on the sharp 4th, so that might not be too bad of a point of reference to get a rough feel of one of the sounds you can get from the scale. This and its parent scale, so to speak, Lydian Dominant, are more common in jazz, which there are a fair number of videos on already, so here we'll have a bit more of a focus on kind of exotic rock based approach. Queens of the Stone Age Josh Homme is quite partial to this scale. For a bit more on how he approaches it, check out that tutorial, with the card up there. But before the licks, here's the full scale shape. The combination of the sharp 4th, this 9th fret here, on the A, and 11th fret on the G string, and the flat 7th, which has the 8th fret on the D string, and the 11th fret on the B string, are what give this interesting scale its unique character. Great to throw in when soloing over a lengthy static dominant 7th chord. Or if you want to sneak in less common textures into a blues jam, provided you don't go overboard, it should just add a little sprinkle of spicy goodness. If you know the hirajoshi scale, card up there, you might notice there's only one note difference, that aforementioned flat 7. Playing the Lydian Dominant Pentatonic over a dominant 7 sharp 11, the sharp 11 being the sharp 4, but an octave higher, or even a major chord, ideally if the dominant 7 that is being implied will sound a bit more coherent. Okay, well that's it in a nutshell, on with the licks. Alright, breaking this down, we've got the 3rd, going off to the root, 5th, flat 7th, 3rd, root, 5th, 3rd. I tend to do a little sweep for that part, all upward, do whatever is most comfortable for yourself. Then after this 3rd here, I'm going down to the root, the flat 7th, sliding down to out position briefly, and up to the sharp 4. So what I did here is I put some vibrato on it initially, and I bent it up a semitone to resolve the lick to the 5th. And then put a little bit more vibrato on there as well. If you want some real edge, just finish on that, and don't bother resolving it upward. If you're playing over the aforementioned dominant 7 sharp 11, or with a sharp 4, it should sound pretty cool. So this lick might give you that kind of dreamy time travel sort of flashback vibe that's often used in film or TV scores. The back music to kind of set the mood or provoke an emotional response in the viewer. Arguably more so in maybe the 60s to the 80s than now. But it is really quite close to the whole tone scale, which is just what that sounds like. It's a series of whole tones. So you'd have a root, a second, third, sharp fourth, sharp fifth, and I suppose you could call it a flat seventh or a sharp sixth, and then the root. Yeah, but since the notes are all equidistant, any of them could really be the root, so that lack of clarity or tonal center just kind of reinforces this kind of floaty, dreamlike kind of state. But yeah, our Lydian Dominant Pentatonic is pretty similar, so it can kind of touch on that type of sound, which might be slightly easier to recognize from a kind of piano part, because due to the nature of the instrument, it's kind of a bit easier to get that nice cascading kind of dream sequence sound that you know so well. And if you want a breakdown of the Lydian Dominant Pentatonic Scale all over the fretboard like I've done in these videos, just let me know down in those comments. Okay, going for a more exotic sound here, maybe leaning into a slightly psychedelic vibe. The third is being bent up to the sharp fourth, a full tone, then back down and down to the root, hopping over the A string entirely. We're going from the flat seventh to the root. I quite like to add a little bit of vibrato here, just like I did on the lower root. So after this we have the sharp fourth, then going up a sort of inverted major arpeggio next, we have the fifth, the root, hammering on the third, there we go, flat seventh, build up to the fifth, and then some tone bends, which will probably sound pretty cool as microtonal ones as well. We bend the flat seventh to the root, and return to pitch. We then have the fifth, flat seventh, fifth, then the second bend here, we're bending the third up to the sharp fourth again, so we're targeting that note. And again, like, you could probably just use microtonal bends in these, like I said. It's, you know, it's going to have a similar effect. It's not going to be quite as... It's not going to sound quite as psychedelic that way, but it'll still sound quite cool. So after this bend, we have the root, sharp fourth, the flat seventh, and then you can either do a wide vibrato here, like almost a tone which will hint at the root, or you can leave it a bit more subtle, which will make it a bit more kind of mellow and floaty for that kind of flat seventh resolution. Totally your call there. If you're enjoying this approach of taking a concept at a base level then developing it, and fancy getting that kind of thing in your feed, let the algorithm know. Give this video a like, subscribe and click the bell icon as well. feeling some very vaguely Marty Friedman vibes for this one here. This is a repeating pattern split evenly into half-bar chunks. I always find these sorts of licks are really good for locking the scale into my memory. We're basically just going through it. We've got the root, 3rd, sharp 4th, 5th, sharp 4th, 5th, sharp 4th, 3rd, for that. And it's just taking the sequence through the next set of strings. Sharp 4th, 5th, flat 7, root, flat 7, root, flat 7, 5th. And the flat 7th. On to bar 2, we go from the flat 7th to the root to the 3rd to the sharp 4th. Then we have that trill going between the 3rd and the sharp 4th. Down to the root, and ending on the 3rd. Picking up on the 3rd again, so we have 3rd, sharp 4th, 5th, flat 7th. The trill again, but this time going between the 5th and the flat 7th. Then we go down to the sharp 4th and the 5th. The next bar, we start on the 5th. Flat 7th and root, and then 3rd. Here we have the trill between the root and the 3rd, flat 7th and the root, sliding up to the 3rd, hitting the 4th, the sharp 4th I should say. You can add some vibrato on here if you want, and then I'm tapping the flat 7th all the way up on the 18th fret, and bending up a tone to the root, so we get a really strong resolution in this lick. The other ones have been a bit floaty, so I wanted to show that you can use this to resolve a lick quite coherently. And next up, I've just got the vamp here, so I'd suggest playing each note from the scale, you know, just sit on it for a while, rather than noodling through it. And listen to what feels safe or indeed tense in relation to that backing track. That was the Lydian Dominant Pentatonic. For more underused pentatonic and blues scale ideas, check out these videos. For some exotic playing ideas, click here. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this and want to stay up to date with the channel, hit subscribe, click like, that really seems to help me out here, and share on social media, leave a comment and enable notifications by ringing that little bell on the side, if you feel so inclined. Cheers guys.